Well, welcome to the show this week. I know each and every week you guys are looking at the Redskins record. No, it's not very good right now. Yes, they're 0-2. No, they did not get the right people in the draft that you thought they should get. If I remember correctly, last year was RG3 this, RG3 that. He can't do this. A few years ago it was Gibbs too. He should have never come back. You fans, though, every time something goes wrong, you start to complain. But what you should be doing this weekend, look at the New York Giants. They're a good team, but what you should be saying this week, that Washington is going to kick their
Scusa, ma io sono Marco Polo, ma...
Playing Marco Polo with Marco Polo? Surprising.
Ragazzini, io sono Marco Polo. Sì, sono qui.
What's not surprising? How much money Amanda and Keith saved by switching to Geico.
Ah, Polo? Polo?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Polo?
You got Kirk. Seems that you both these first two games seem to have missed more opportunities, playing not as well as he was towards the end of last year. Certainly, what do you attribute that to, and what can we do to fix it?
I don't know. We'll work to whatever we can do to fix it. That's for sure. We're going to get back to the grind and get work on the New York Giants as soon as we leave here. So get him to watch the tape, find out what's going on if he's unsure. What the indecision might be, why he's missing some throws. But you know, it's a tough game. He's got people around his feet. He's got to make some tough throws. And usually ones he would normally hit, but he missed a few today. But, we'll coach him up. Can't put it all on Kirk. You know, there's a lot of other issues that we had today. That's for sure. Coaching, playing, offense, defense. We all had our hand in that one.
Welcome to the show, and each and every week we tell you we're glad to have you here. I'm back again, Tony McGee. Got my crew here. Mike Baker. What's up, Mike Baker? G-Man. G, they told me to call you GQ. You were so cool last week. And Donna Hopkins. Now, guys, let's get right to it. As you know, you fans are pretty unhappy right now because the Washington Redskins aren't playing well. Let's be straight up. They're not playing well. But one thing we can say, they could have won both of the games they lost.
Yes, without a doubt. They definitely played well enough to win, and, you know, a turnover here, a turnover there, they'd have won the football game.
But isn't that the difference between winning and losing, the turnovers? I mean...
Good defense, Tony. Good defense.
But Tony, it's not...
wait, explain what you're saying, Gary.
Defense wins football games, like you told me always.
He said that?
You know what he's trying to say.
No, I'm just saying.
He's trying to get out of the defense.
No.
I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with what you always say.
He ain't agreed in 20 years, now you're agreeing.
He didn't say something about a receiver.
Well, let's talk about the offense. You cannot get down on the 5-yard line in the fourth quarter and come out with 3 points in an interception.
And 2 and 6 in the red zone. You can't do it, Tony.
But I agree. And I agree, but you also can't have a team drive 80 yards when you're up by 3.
Yeah, but look at the other end of the spectrum of that. 4th and 1 and you throwing a pass?
Into double coverage? Come on.
I know you're
I'm saying that happened, but that did happen, though, right?
Yes, it did.
And we were up by 3, correct?
Defensive segment.
Yeah.
Defense is the next segment. Let's get on the offense right now.
No, but Gary, but not only that, you get down there 5 times.
80 yards?
No, but you get down there 5 times.
80 yards?
5 times. And you don't even have to worry about that.
I think it was 120.
But I look at it like this.
You don't have to worry about that 5 times.
If I'm up at 3, it's in the 4th quarter, they don't score, I win.
You're right. I'll go with that. But if you didn't score in the 4th quarter, they win. And you were down there twice.
But we scored in the 4th quarter.
Tony.
But we did score in the 4th quarter.
3 points.
Therefore, that's why we were up.
But Gary, wait a minute. 5 times in the red zone. and you come away
It's
with
better than being zero times in the red
No,
zone.
but you come away with 3 field goals, an interception. You got to punch it in.
They did
What is
better
the
than they
problem
did
with
the week
red zone?
before.
All right.
Was in there
Not
5
much.
times last
Time out. Let's ask
I
this.
want to ask you all a question. Okay, and you both played on Super Bowl teams. When was the last
Him and
time?
Donna, that's you looking at both
No,
of
but
them.
she played
I
on
played on
championship
2
basketball
Super Bowl teams,
Yeah.
I just, you know.
But when was the last time that your quarterback got called in right after the game and to a meeting with Scott McLuhan, or your general manager, or your president of football operations, as well as your head coach, before he met the press?
Is this inside information? you're
No,
giving,
that's out
Michael?
there. It's been talked about all day.
Why did they call him in, Michael?
I
Would
have
you
no
tell us?
idea.
I don't know. When Doug won his Super Bowl and Mark won his Super Bowl, they called him in too. So maybe-
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Well, you know, the one thing that I like
I'm
about
just
this.
making that up.
Oh, you made
The coach,
Can't believe not
the
even
coach,
said.
I didn't even listen to him to
Yeah.
say that. The coach, everyone is saying we all are the blame, and that's what they have to do. They must get that mindset. It's just not the offense, it's just not the defense,
Without a
it's
doubt.
just not the quarterback. It's everybody. And what they have to do is right this ship real soon. They're not out of it yet, but this game this weekend is probably the biggest game that they can have in the last few years.
Yeah.
And you
it's
talking
second
about,
division loss,
yeah,
right?
you talking about
If they
righting the
lose.
ship. They've got to be able to run the ball. In the first week, 12 times. Against Dallas, 17 times, 29 times running the ball is not going to get it done. And they're passing for over 90
Tony, you already know this, Tony.
No,
If you
you
score 14 points or more, you're supposed to what?
See, I hate to say that, and he's right. We said
You win the
17.
game.
We
No,
said
but
anytime,
you
but
win the game.
he has a valid
No,
point,
no, it's
Donna.
not if.
I got to go to him. The one thing that we used to do when Pettibone was our defensive coordinator, he said if they score 17, we win. And every time we did that, pretty much we did win. So what he's saying is the offense did score enough to win.
Yeah.
The offense scored enough to win. Defense should have stopped it.
May I?
That's the
may I
first
talk-
time
you
I've
know-
seen you quiet, Donna.
They did not score enough to win.
Tony's silence.
Because if they had scored enough to win those one times down there with them touchdowns, they would have won.
Donna.
But y'all haven't even mentioned.
Hold on, Donna. In
but
the fourth quarter, were they winning?
for a moment.
After they threw that interception in the end
A
zone, were they
moment.
winning?
A moment.
So if they don't
But
drive and
guess
score, do
what?
they win
But
or
guess
lose?
what? It's
Do
not
they
o-
win or
it's
lose?
not
Just a
over
yes or
until
no
zero.
question. Just
It's
a
not
yes or no
over
question,
until
Donna.
zero. The
I
clock
saw,
is
can I
going.
talk about one hopeful thing I saw, which I have not seen in a very long time? I saw Josh Doxson down that field with Deshaun Jackson, both on fly routes, and both were wide open. And I think that is the secret weapon of the future.
Well,
You
wait.
cannot
Now
carry-
finish
cover
that
both
play.
of
They
them.
were wide open. Did the ball get to them?
Well, Josh
No.
caught it. I mean, it was what, 52, 53
Okay, but
yards?
But if he
here
had
you go.
led him,
Here you go
would've been
talking
a
about the
touchdown.
future. We're talking about this
Present.
week.
That was
Dobson
hope.
is a little ways away.
Present.
I'd like to see. I see Garcon coming across the middle, making
Right.
some good,
Yeah.
big. I mean, 4th and 1, and you're going downfield. Come on, Mike. I think what these gentlemen and this young lady are saying. We got to run the ball too. I know he's not saying that, but I'm just putting words in his mouth.
Running the
You
ball
got to
occasionally is
run that
okay.
ball. When you got a
lot.
4th and 1, that's when you get tough.
But Jay never ran
Yeah, but
it
we
in
couldn't know. We
Cincinnati. It
couldn't.
was all about throwing
And you got to
the
be
ball.
tough. You got to give it to that man.
But right
The
now,
game is
we can't
won.
run on 4th and 1.
I know. See, and that's
No.
not
But we
good.
did it on 3rd and 1, and we got stuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's what got us
and
to
that's
4th
not
and
good.
I know it.
No, this is not.
And
this
see
is not
what
a
we're
run
saying here,
package.
ladies and gentlemen. We have a problem running the ball, and we have a problem stopping the run. When you come back in this next thing, we'll talk about a defense, which, as Gary said, they gave up 80 yards when they needed to stop the individuals.
I did not say
And
that.
you did, Sal.
You said something like that. We'll be
Something
back
like
in
that.
a minute.
You
It's
said
not that.
You said it.
You said that you had meetings with people.
still a long season. We got 14 games left. It's 2 disappointing games so far. We dropped 2 at home, which is really not good. But we still got a long way to go, and we just got to come back and prepare well this week for New York.
Yeah, I mean, we lost. Got to tip your hats off to the guys. Gave it out, put our best foot forward. Guess it wasn't good enough. So we got to get back on the practice field and go a little bit harder, go a little bit extra, and continue to fight hard and not, be down on ourselves. Done this whole ourselves, I think. And the thing is, you just got to execute when our number's called and do the things that we're supposed to do or the coaches ask us to do, and execute better. I think that's the biggest thing. We in these games, and it just come down to 1 or 2 plays.
Well, before we get to started talking about the defense, let's talk about Vernon Davis. I mean, very quickly, this guy has added something to the team. Not only did he have 5 catches, he had some very good blocks.
And
I think
blocking,
that's going
good
to be
catches,
important.
good run after the catch. I mean, he played a complete game.
They like Jordan Reed, and they say if you get 2 threats in the middle, you can maybe get that in the middle. But now we talk about the defense, talking about threats in the middle. They'll show you some good things, and then they can't stop people. And that's one thing you can't happen with the defense. And we thought they were going to be better, but instead of getting Dobson that first round, I would have gotten me a defensive lineman.
They did not
somewhere, but they were planning on other people that got hurt, but you can't plan on other people. You got to strengthen every position.
I think they play well off of momentum, too, because, again, the defense did. When we had that drive, we took them down the field. The defense played well enough to give us that ball back so we could take the ball down the field.
They did, exactly.
And I think they were a little dejected because they did that. We dropped the ball down the field, and then we get an interception in the end zone. Then they're back on the field. So.
And you think about it, the first 2 games, they got some nice turnovers that should have counted for more points.
A lot of pressure. But Tony, talk about stopping the run. So they pretty much stuffed a little bit the run up the middle, but Dallas started running the ball outside, and they were like totally thrown off, and they were successful running the ball outside, and Washington never made adjustments to that. What happened right there as far as that? They're running. I mean, they're not good at stopping the run.
Anytime you hear the ball being ran outside, that means that outside person is giving up their outside shoulder. You always give only your inside shoulder, so you always have that outside hand free. So somebody is giving up that outside shoulder.
Made a few good outside runs.
That's a whole bunch.
And you know what? I agree with Gary.
But they did it about 5 times.
A lot of times they made with 3rd down conversions.
Exactly.
They had 3rd down conversions that more into the passing.
And you got to look at what the game was at that time, too. You think about it, they did a lot of running in the end when they were trying to preserve.
Yeah.
So, you can't just say they did a better job on them not running that well, but at the same time,
that was in
what
third
you're
down.
saying that they could not stop some plays.
3rd down
they
a lot,
needed to
Don.
stop.
Yeah.
You got to start looking at the game.
I don't know about you guys,
You
but
need to
I
look at the game.
am
You said
really
a different
impressed with
game.
Josh Norman. I am very impressed with him.
He plays well.
I mean, he's got intensity.
He plays
he's
well.
fired up. He's got great skills, great ball
Don't catch
skills.
too much on
I mean, he's the complete player, Tony. I mean, that was a very good investment.
I like it that he likes the challenge.
Yeah.
And he gets out there and he talks to everybody. He's not talking mean, he's just talking to individuals. And he has a big one this week because you remember last year they had a little scuffle in New York.
And they've got 2 good receivers in New York.
They got 3 good receivers. Their number 1 draft choice is good,
And
too.
Shepard is the one you worry about because he'll match up with Bashad Breeland an awful lot.
But you guys don't. Breeland has gotten beat, yes, he has. But at the same time, I've seen young corners, and they get beat when they're young. But he's coming on. He's getting closer. He will start making plays. I tell you.
He does each year.
Yes.
Each year he does. By mid-season, he's usually in really good form. But I mean, he's a good player. He's going to be a great player. He's going to play in this league a long time, without a doubt. But like you said, he has to catch up now, though. They showed a stat. They did show a stat. There was 9 passes thrown to last week when they played Pittsburgh. There was 9 passes thrown his way, 8 were called.
But up front, they've got to get more pressure. Although they got
it's
better.
a combination.
It's the best. I mean, it was the best receiver on their team, of course, but
when we talk about combinations, we know that everyone is at fault. When you win, everyone win. When you lose, everyone lose. So special teams need to step it up a little bit. But now we start talking about not just special teams. They're playing the New York Giants. These guys are better. They spent $200 million on the defense, and that defense is coming on. We'll be back in a minute.
We have to go to practice and get it corrected. Of course, we were in the red zone multiple times, and we wasn't able to execute. So we have to get better in that area. I mean, if you're not scoring points, then it's hard to win games, and we all know that. but we have to get better. We have to get better. There's no excuses for it. Collectively, we have to come together and make it right. If not, then not going to win games.
Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Now, fans, you can do the same thing, but what I'm going to do is ask these three individuals up here and just say some names, and they'll tell you what they think about these Giants players. Start with you, Mike. Cruz. Tell me about him.
Sosa.
What else? End zone.
No, but I mean, they didn't have him last year. You know, when we played them last year, he was injured. And so now all of a sudden you have that tandem of Beckham Jr. and you have Cruz, plus you throw Shepard in the mix, and you've got.
So that means every defensive back have to do one-on-one.
Well, yeah, you better.
Play zone.
And your safeties have to play better.
Game breakers, we talking about Beckham Jr. Tell me a little bit about him, G. You know, you've been in that field before.
It's all in the name, Beckham. Whether it's soccer, whether it's football, obviously, it seems to be a name that you should probably name your kid at some point in time because good things happen. But he's just a great player.
Now, they spend all the money on the defense, they say, up there in New York, millions and millions of dollars, but then they got Shepard first round, and you tell me about him. It seems like he's coming on.
Why are you asking her, Tony?
Because he knows to come to me, not you. He's a playmaker, Tony. This is the guy that's been inserted in their offense, and he just enhances that passing game even more so.
And then they got Darnell, the tight end, and I'll just end up with him. You take a look at this. They got 4 capable receivers, so we do not have to worry, and you fans do not have to worry who's covering who, because everyone has to be covered.
Yeah,
now,
everybody.
defensive-wise, Pierre Paul is coming back. I saw he's coming back. They put him on the left side. Donna, we talked about that last year. Why did they have him on the right side when he had that hand injury? Now they put him where they can use that hand as a club, and he's really coming on.
Well, they better do something about him because I tell you, you're not going to have time to throw the ball. You're just not. Not against that defensive line.
But I got to ask you, though.
They build that defensive
What do you think Washington's chances are of winning this game?
We will win the game.
I think of the 3, it's the least likely that they would win this game.
100%
They better be able to run the
game.
ball. I'm sorry.
I got to go
Curtis
with Gary.
going to be under pressure.
100%.
Yeah.
Why do you think is that very quickly, Mike?
You've got a quarterback that's won 2 Super Bowls and has a quick
Oh,
release.
he's won.
I'm sorry.
You got a team that's won 2 Super Bowls. He didn't win.
He's got
nothing.
one of the quickest releases in the NFL.
Oh, Mike,
But
when
he does
you
make
just made that
mistakes,
up,
too.
Mike?
He does make mistakes,
You just
too.
made that up.
And it's all
I like Manning,
all
too.
that air
I
coming
like
out
him,
of the
too,
tunnel.
but-
They still
Well,
have
but
the
they-
tunnel.
Tony, they got a
still have
complete
the tunnel.
package.
Well, unlike Mike, it's 2 or 3 of us up here feel like Washington can win the game. If you wanted this, it's
Mike's a closet
Mike.com.
cowboy.
Yeah,
Get in touch
Closet Cowboy fan.
We'll be back in a minute with the pick. He just mad because his picks weren't good. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, you're right. Closet Cowboy fan.
Check this out, bro.
What's that, Brohim?
I switched to Geico and got more.
More savings on car insurance?
Yeah, Professor, and more, like renter's insurance.
More ways to save. Nice, Brotato Chip.
That's not all protein shake. Geico has motorcycle and RV insurance, too.
Ooh, that's a lot more.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about more Teddy Roosevelt.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
This week's stat of the week is the Redskins have not beaten the Giants in New York since December 18th, 2011.
Welcome to the studio, Northern Virginia's most advanced, state-of-the-art private event venue. For your next party, wedding, fundraiser, or any special event, come to the studio. We offer the accommodations of a formal ballroom at a fraction of the cost. We can accommodate small gatherings to weddings with up to 275 guests. Our large event room has the latest in lighting, sound, projection, and video. The studio is now available for your next corporate meeting. Check us out on the web at thestudiova.com.
Minister of Information here. If you looked at last week's show, I did pretty well with the picks. I look to do well again this week. The game I have is you're looking at Denver going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is one of those teams haven't won a playoff game because they're not disciplined. Yes, they have a good squad, but when they go against another squad that has a great defense and play well, they cannot win. Mark last year, Pittsburgh, not the best team, but better than Cincinnati. So when you do your picks this week, you look at Denver. They may not have the quarterback. They got the defense. Pick them to win.
In hot games this week, I've got Minnesota traveling to Carolina. Talk about setbacks. Adrian Peterson went down in the third quarter with a right knee injury. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on Sam Bradford, who takes over for Teddy Bridgewater, who went down with a knee injury before the season even started. Now, last week, the Vikings had 5 sacks on Aaron Rodgers. They'll need that kind of production this week when they face a Carolina offense that has all kind of weapons. They run the ball well. They've got big targets in their passing game. And Cam Newton, a big target by himself. On defense, one of the best in football. This week, the Vikings are in trouble. Pick the Panthers.
So we have the New York Jets traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs are coming off a loss against the Houston Texans, while the Jets, they beat Buffalo on the road. This will be an interesting matchup. The Jets, they can't stop the pass. The Chiefs, they're up and down. Well, I really like Kansas City in this game at home. Take the Chiefs.
You have the guru here, Gary Clark. We have Philadelphia playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though Pittsburgh is traveling to Philadelphia, they are going to spank that butt. You got Big Ben versus the rookie quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, the rookie quarterback is playing well, but he is not the Benster. Pick Pittsburgh to win because Big Ben always has the right time, and they're going to spank it, spank it. Did I say spank it?
Tony, in the Sports Bar Challenge this week, we were amiss last week in not mentioning that everybody lost that Arizona game the first week. That's been now reflected in the picks totals. But this week we've got Chicago at Dallas, Crystal City Restaurant, Dallas, Crystal City Sports Pub, Dallas, Greavy's Restaurant, Dallas, Outback Steakhouse, Chicago, Hard Times at Fairfax, Chicago, Harry's Ale House of Fredericksburg, Chicago. And we have begun the scholarship contest. And again, if you're a high school senior and you'd like to submit, we have some nice prizes for you if you win. The question this year that you'll write about is identify a social problem and how you would fix it. And Tony, we had the opportunity this week to catch up with Mike Richmond. Donna interviewed him in Tunnel Vision.
The Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus does more than just football, but we're here in a segment called Tunnel Vision, and this week we've got the Washington Redskins historian Mike Richmond. So Mike, talk a little bit about heading up to New York next week. This team starts off 0-2 at home.
Not a good sign, Donna. First of all, I had high expectations for this team. I thought with the pieces that they have coming into the season and also piggybacking on last season's playoff appearance, this team was going to do some pretty good things. So it's a major disappointment. Now, heading into the Giants in the Meadowlands, how often do they play well there? We're looking most likely at an 0-3 start. I think the season is virtually over at this point. 2 games, 2 home losses, 1 to an NFC East opponent. It's going to be tough.
Now, looking at this season going into it, the weapons that they have on offense, the running game, and Kurt, he's their franchise quarterback, but they have not clicked on all those cylinders early on. Now, you say that season probably is over if they lose against the Giants, but the players are saying don't push the panic button.
Well, of course the players are going to say that right now. I mean, they want to hold their heads up and be as optimistic as possible. And I was talking to Vernon Davis, and he was saying, yeah, we all have to face adversity, just bounce back from it. Will Compton was basically saying the same thing. So, but the reality is, we're probably, playing the Giants in the Meadowlands is never easy. They always struggle there. Okay, and the Giants are 2-0 at this point. So I think we may be looking at an 0-3 start unless the Redskins get their act together quickly. Now, with that said, they basically had this game in hand. Yeah. Okay, they had 2 possessions in Cowboys territory, 1st and 10 at the 38, 1st and 10 at the 34. They come away with 6 points, and then Kirk throws the interception in the end zone. Okay, they get no points out of that. So, and that could have given them a double-digit lead. Yeah. Okay, so you flip it around, they score a touchdown there. We're probably looking at a Redskins win, but didn't happen.
So some red zone problems in the first 2 games, but in wrapping this up, if you were to put your finger on one thing, how would you assess, and I'm going to go right to the quarterback, Kurt, at this point, because he doesn't seem to be playing the same way he did at the end of last season into this, and he has more weapons.
He just looks indecisive at times out there. I mean, I thought he looked much better today than against the Steelers, but still, underthrowing passes, the pass he threw to Doxson late in the 4th quarter, Doxson was wide open on that play, probably by at least 10 yards. He overthrew him. That could have easily been a touchdown. And DeSean Jackson was open on the same play as well. He's underthrowing passes, showing indecision there, not the same type of confidence that he showed in the second half of last season.
Well, you heard it here, right here on Tunnel Vision from Mike Richardson. More after this message.
Donna, tell me about your thing coming up.
Yeah, Mike, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October, and we're going to have the 3rd annual Pink Ribbon Throwdown with CrossFitter Laurel. Gary remembered that a couple years ago when he could not walk after that. But it's a great event where all of us was involved, yes. So stay tuned, October the 15th.
Now we talk a little bit about the picks. We 3-2 I am, 1-4 Donna, 3-2 Gary, 2-3 Mike. You look at Denver and Cincinnati, everybody put Denver but Mike, he takes Cincinnati. Minnesota, Carolina, we all took Carolina. Jets at Kansas City, I took the Jets. The rest of them took Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. We all picked Pittsburgh and Chicago and Dallas. We all picked Dallas. I can't believe that.
We are believers now, aren't we?
No,
not really. It's just the team they playing.
We were forced into that. Now, for my tip of the week, for all of you, if you thought last week was a big game, team, you better play it like you mean it this week, because this is more important. Give me a quick win. We got a few seconds. What do we need to do to win, Michael?
They better run the ball, because they're not going to have time to throw it.
Donna?
I agree with Mike. Run the ball and defensive pressure.
G?
I'll leave it like the turnovers.
Me, I feel like they got to play as a team and they got to be coached well. And you fans, believe. We'll be back next week in the minute.